Hi, my name is Matthew John Hobart, but most people call me MJ. I'm 14 years old and I have Asperger's syndrome, which I usually refer to as AS.
When I tell people that MJ has Asperger's syndrome, they usually look at me with a blank look, so I follow it up with, do you know what Asperger's syndrome is?
One of the hardest parts about having Asperger's syndrome is that I look just like any other 14-year-old kid. We call kids that don't have AS neurotypical. People expect me to talk and act like neurotypical kids, so when I don't, they're surprised and confused.
When you have a child with a disability, especially an invisible disability such as Asperger's syndrome, you're faced with the task of constantly explaining your child's behavior. Many Asperger's syndrome parents will tell you that it would be easier in many ways if their child had a physical and outward sign of their disability, such as having a hearing aid or being in a wheelchair.
I pretty much put people into two categories, those that understand me and those that don't. If you can understand the way my disability affects me, then you'll be great friends with me. People that don't take the time to understand me make me feel really frustrated. I want to take their heads out.
Out and outward parents of having a disability, it's too easy for others to expect these kids to behave like a normal child because that's what they look like, normal.
Kids with the AS usually have sensory integration disorder. This means that our sensory system is not quite right. In my case, my body needs a lot more stimulus for me to know where my body is in space because my vestibular system doesn't work right. My hearing is really sensitive. I call it supersonic hearing. My brain doesn't filter out small noises, so I can hear everything. And loud noises are 9 times, pretty much 1,000. So they bother me a lot.
Matthew's vestibular system is under-responsive. Your vestibular system is what tells your body where it is in space. If he doesn't have enough feedback to his vestibular system, it makes him feel kind of anxious. So he needs more stimulus, and one of the ways he can get it is by jumping on the trampoline, and that can really calm him down.
Hi, this is my friend Shane Dixon.
Hi.
She has AS like I do.
Hey Shane, how would you define Asperger's syndrome?
It's basically just something that changes the way they behave. Everything is processed intellectually, so they tend to have rote memorization. They memorize. They sometimes have eidetic memory like I do, which is when I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. They like to memorize facts. They're like human encyclopedias. Why am I saying they? I am one. It's not quite like autism where they're shut off from the world. They want to socialize with other people. They're just not very good at it.
For you, if you could take away your Asperger's syndrome, would you?
No.
Definitely not.
So how do you do socially?
Kind of good.
Yeah, what's the hardest part?
Probably reading facial expressions, and I don't know, when someone's laughing, I don't know if they're laughing with me or at me, so it's kind of hard for that.
Yeah, what about your special interests?
Well, my main special interests are video games, and my current obsession is Guild Wars, which is a MMO, massively multiplayer online game. Or even longer, MMORPG, massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
So do you think you know more than the average kid about video games?
Kind of.
Kind of?
It depends on who I'm talking to. If like a video game maniac, then yeah, they're going to know a lot more than I do about games.
Asperger's syndrome kids lack what's called theory of mind, which means that, when you go into an average social situation, you can usually guess what people are going to say, or you can at least kind of guess at what they're thinking. And Asperger's syndrome kids can't do that at all. They can't put themselves in your shoes, literally. Their brain does not really allow them to do that. The other thing that's really hard is that they don't understand sarcasm very well, because as Matt says, it bounces around his brain and then lands on the part that should focus on sarcasm, and he goes, oh, that was sarcasm, but by then it's too late. So I think Matt sometimes doesn't realize, like if somebody's making fun of him, or if somebody's irritated, like he can't tell by their tone of voice that they're getting irritated, or by their nonverbal communication because his brain just doesn't